Hello students, I am Professor Isha Nandirata from LG Institute of Engineering and Technology. We have started our syllabus with the module Superconductivity, wherein we have discussed the basics of superconductivity, properties of superconductivity, different types of superconductors, the mechanism behind superconductivity, and a concept called London penetration depth. Today, I am going to start with applications of superconductors, and I will be discussing maglev train and cryotron in this particular video. Maglev train is a concept which uses magnetic levitation to achieve the levitation of the train. So first, let's discuss what magnetic levitation is. So what is magnetic levitation? It is a process by which one object is suspended above another object with no other support but magnetic fields. What does that mean? If you have any object at this height, there will be one more object. There should be no contact between the two. And how is this achieved? With the help of magnetic fields. What basically is the concept of magnetic levitation? How is it achieved? Because of Messner effect, the magnetic field lines are repelled. We know that superconductors exhibit Messner effect. What is Messner effect? They repel the magnetic field lines. So because of this repulsion, magnetic levitation is produced. Let's discuss what a maglev train is. What are the features of a maglev train? So maglev train is a particular train which moves without any contact with the track or guideway. It is unlike our conventional systems which make a contact with the track. But in a maglev train, there is no contact between the track or guideway and the train. That means it moves in air. It levitates in air. Maglev trains particularly use electromagnets and superconductivity to achieve levitation. Now, what is an electromagnet? You have an iron core on which you wrap a coil, a copper coil, and you pass current to it. Till the time current is being passed, your iron core will be magnetized. So this is a basic concept of electromagnets. And what is superconductivity? It is a specific phenomena which is achieved by lowering the temperature till critical temperature. And then we get almost zero resistivity. So any of the two magnets can be used in maglev trains. What is the benefit of using these trains? They are more efficient and they are environment friendly. Why do we say they are efficient? They are efficient because there is no contact and so there is no friction between the train and the track. And that is the reason very high speeds can be achieved. Speeds as high as 500 kilometers per hour are achieved with the help of maglev trains. Let's see the basic types of maglev systems. So the maglev suspension systems, you can say the types of maglev train. There are two basic systems which are employed in maglev suspension system. The first one of them is electromagnetic suspension. Let's see what electromagnetic suspension is. It is commonly known as EMS. Electromagnetic suspension system is a system which uses attractive forces to levitate. So as per the definition, we have seen that repulsion is the cause of levitation. Let's see how electromagnetic suspension uses attractive forces. So I'll be explaining you with the help of diagram and then I'll elaborate how it works. So here the front view of a maglev train is shown. You can see the guidance magnets, you can see the levitation magnets and electromagnets. You can just see that electromagnets, the red colored electromagnets are placed on the guideway. And then the levitation magnets are placed on the train and the train is like a clamp on the guideway. This system, what happens in this system, the levitation magnets will get attracted to the electromagnets. So levitation magnets on the train will get attracted to electromagnets on the guideway. And this is how the train will levitate. Guidance magnets are just used so that they guide the train, so that the train does not move right or left, because there is no contact between the train and guideway. Now, let's see how an EMS works. So this is an EMS system wherein you can see the clamping of the train. So this is just the zoomed view of the train. This is the electromagnet which is present on the train, that is the levitation magnet, and these are the magnets which are on the track. What happens when electromagnet energizes? It will get attracted to the magnet which is on the train, and this is how the entire train will levitate. So this is the working of an EMS system. Second type of suspension system is known as electrodynamic suspension. Now what is this electrodynamic suspension? It is commonly known as an EDS. This uses repulsive forces to levitate. So this is the construction of an EDS. Unlike the EMS system, you can see here that the train is not like a clamp. If this is the track, the train is just placed on the track. You can see the levitation magnets here. So in this case, what happens? The levitation magnets, when they repel the electromagnets, so these are the electromagnets and these are the levitation magnets. When the levitation magnets repels, the train will levitate. So powerful superconducting magnets are used in this. Unlike EMS, which uses electromagnets, this particular system uses superconducting magnets. Now what are superconducting magnets? You wind a superconductor the core and then it achieves zero resistivity and it has the property of Meissner effect. So that gives us the levitation. Magnets of same polarity will create repulsive forces between the levitation magnets and the magnets on the guideways, because we know that like poles always repel each other. So polarity of the magnets would be same and this will achieve the levitation. Now let's have a look at the working of EDS system. Now the EDS system, as I said, uses superconductivity. Superconductivity means the material is cooled down with the help of liquid nitrogen. The placed on the side of the train. And let's see what happens, how it levitates. You can see this, the blue colored indicates the magnet on the train and then you have the magnet on the guideway. So according to the currents flowing on the guideway, what happens? The bottom portion there is north-north and the upper portion there is north-south. So this north-north will repel and south and north will attract, and that will levitate the train to almost 100 millimeters. Now let's see how a maglev train works. You can see in this diagram, these are the propulsion coils which will help the maglev move. The red colored are the levitation coils. This is just an arrangement wherein you can see the magnets on the guideways and the center portion indicates the train, the maglev train having the magnets. Now this south-south and north-north is going to repel and this north and south is going to attract. So what will be the net force? It will be in this forward direction. But what happens when the train moves? This north will repel the north on the guideway. Similarly, south will repel the south on the guideway. So the net force will drag the train in the opposite direction. So now what is done? The guideway magnets are alternated. That is, the magnetic field is alternated and then we get the net force in the forward direction. So you have continuously alternating forces which will drag your train in one particular direction. Now let us just look at the comparison of EMS and EDS systems. We have just seen what an EMS is. EMS, that is electromagnetic suspension, which uses attractive forces to achieve levitation, and EDS is a system which uses repulsive forces to achieve levitation. So let's see the comparison between the two. So EMS is a system which has been employed in Germany. So it is known as the German Transrapid system, which works on EMS. Whereas if you talk about EDS, it is known as the Japanese superconductive maglev system. Japan uses superconducting electromagnets to achieve levitation. You must be wondering how the temperature of these superconductors is maintained. So what is done is you have liquid nitrogen tanks on the train which continuously supply liquid nitrogen in circulation. that will keep the temperatures of the superconductors low. If you talk about EMS, the gap which we can achieve is around 10 mm only, that is 1 centimeters. Why? The reason is the levitation and the guidance magnets, they attract each other. So if you want to increase the gap, there is a possibility that both of them come in contact. So that is the reason in this particular system, the gap is not very high. Whereas on the other hand, if you talk about an EDS system, the gap is around 10 centimeters. It is very simple because the train is not clamped, it is just placed on the guideway. If you talk about the propulsion system in EMS system, it uses a linear induction motor, whereas if you talk about EDS system, it uses a synchronous motor. If you talk about what are the types of magnets used in EMS, so we use simple or normal electromagnets in EMS system, whereas if you talk about EDS, we are using superconducting electromagnets. So we use superconductors to wind on the iron core, and thus we achieve superconductivity, which helps in easy levitation. So this was a brief about the maglev train, maglev suspension system, how maglev works. Now let us move on to the second application for today, that is cryotron. What exactly is a cryotron? It is a switch which operates on superconductivity. Switch means basically on-off action, a device which gives you on-off action. What exactly, when was it discovered? So it was invented by Dudley Allen Buck in the year 1956. What exactly is the principle on which cryotron works? So cryotron works on the principle that magnetic fields will destroy superconductivity. We had discussed in the properties of superconductor a property called critical magnetic field. What is critical magnetic field? It is the minimum field which will destroy the superconducting state. So this is the principle which is used in cryotron. Let's see how a cryotron works. What construction diagram? It has a simple core. I have just mentioned a material of, say, SA. SA indicates superconducting material A. The first cryotron which was discovered had a core of tantalum. On this core, what is done? A winding is wound. Now this winding, the first cryotron had the winding of niobium. So here I have just labeled coil B of a material SB. There is a current which is flown through the winding. What happens if the current flows through this winding? The core is going to get magnetized. In normal conditions, what happens? Because both of them are superconductors, what happens? They have zero resistance. So if you pass a current through the core, whatever current I1 has entered the core, the same current I2 will come out of the core. We just have the condition HCA less than HCB. What does that mean? You should select a core in such a way which has a lower critical magnetic field as compared to the critical magnetic field of winding. So we have the condition HCA less than HCB. In simple words, I can say it is easy to destroy the superconducting state of the core because we have HCA less than HCB. Now just imagine a condition. If the current through your winding has increased suddenly, what happens? The magnetic field is also going to increase suddenly. If in that case, the magnetic field of the core exceeds HCA, what happens? Its superconductivity is lost. So immediately you can see that the current which was flowing through the core has now reduced. So I can say the amount of current through the core is controlled by the current through the winding. So your winding acts as the control which is controlling the core. So if this cryotron is used in any circuit, how will it act as a switch? If the current through the winding has increased, the core will lose its superconductivity and there will be suddenly a drop in current in the core. So this was just about working of cryotron. So today we have discussed what is a maglev, how a maglev works, the types of maglev suspension systems, and also a brief about cryotron. I will be continuing with the applications of superconductors in my coming video. Till then, take care. Thank you.